Okay. Where do we even start? My God. So this guy, Governor Mike Parson, I think he's from Missouri. He's the governor of Missouri, as the his handle suggests on Twitter. His, I believe his office's website was set up in such a way that if you looked, as they put it, if you looked at the source code, or basically if you opened up the developer options in Chrome or in any browser and looked at the HTML, there was a misconfigured, I think it was an IIS server or something that was basically storing an encoded string that if you plugged, I believe it was base64, and if you, no, it was not, it was like MD1 or I don't remember which hash it was, but whatever, basically they're storing social security numbers on the front end of the website of his employees. So whoever I forget who the person was, if he was an employee or if he was just a customer, but basically he reported this to them like a good citizen, and instead of thanking him, this man, Mike Parson, called the Missouri Highway Patrol and the General Attorney's Office and said, you need to lock this guy up. And then he doubled down and said, we want to be clear, this was more than a simple right click. It took a whole 12 steps to get this data.
To be clear.
Now, the security industry and just that technology industry at large that have seen this are all just memeing on this guy, commenting here like, 12 hard steps, right click, open developer, view source, like copy paste, step 8, decrypt on like a MD5 like decryptor site, and then send the email. Those were the 12 steps. Deep hacking, definitely state sponsored, right? Like unbelievable. I don't even know what to say. I'm so dumbfounded that this is the guy that supposedly runs a state.
Yeah, it's remarkable, isn't it?
It's like when anyone, Zuckerberg goes in front of Congress and they embarrass themselves with stupid questions.
Yeah, it's just so disappointing. This is like where every time the security industry takes a few steps forward, it's like something like this happens, and this scares all the security researchers back, because why would they want to report anything if this is how they're treated? Why would white hat pen testers or hackers or even gray hatters, whatever, want to report this and do the right thing when they get punished like this for it? And this guy found a crazy vulnerability. It's just absurd.
It's hilarious, but it's also not harmless. Because you could look at this and just say, okay, boomer, like you don't understand what's going, like this is just not how it works. However,
it's a boomer with power.
He's a governor. And if this ends up in court somewhere, who even knows? I mean, what was we saw the Quad 9 injunction. Absurd legal decision, but found a court that would buy the argument, and now all of a sudden it's this huge problem with legal liability.
Can we get a background on the Quad 9? Can you give us a quick refresher on what happened with Quad 9 in, I think it was in Germany?
Yeah, Pierre probably.
Okay. Yeah, so Quad 9 is an open public DNS resolver, which can protect you from malware by returning a fake result for any domains it thinks are threats. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest in the world. It competes with Cloudflare and whatever. They have been sued by Sony in Germany in the Hamburg courts because Sony claim that any domains which host content, which hosts links to copyrighted content, should be blocked by Quad9, which is bonkers in just every possible way. And it's effectively asking Sony, Quad9 to police the internet based on, and not just like on a sort of legal level, it's Sony telling Quad9, hey, this site should be blocked, and then they have to do it. And Sony are suing them in court. Yeah. So, yeah, the legal implications are that if they win this case, then any other DNS resolver is suddenly also going to become liable for policing the internet based on a private company's opinion of what that site links to, even not even what's hosted on that site, but what it points towards.
So not to get too far into this, because it is a really interesting one, but thank you for the explanation. And also one thing I want to be that I'm curious about is if this only affects Germany or the entirety of the EU. If it was to pass.
We can talk about this a bit more, but it will have implications. If it goes through, it's the first step.
Right.
It is similar to this situation with the dickhead from Missouri, because if he wins, if it goes to court and he wins this case and it's declared hacking,
right,
then that means a whole lot of other shit is suddenly hacking as well, like which clearly is not.
No.
But there's a horrible danger that it might actually happen. Because that one stupid old guy has thought, yeah, it's right. Not just one stupid old guy, but one stupid old guy in power has decided that this is hacking. Nobody has corrected him on his obvious mistake. So all the stupid white old guys around him are all going, yeah, nice one. Let's get this evil hacker. Which means that, hey, you know what? In court, maybe a whole other bunch of stupid old white guys are going to say the same thing. So, yeah.
And to the precedent. So we did where we work, we did a virtual escape room, which was, kind of fun. This is during the pandemic, initial lockdowns. Companies were trying to figure out what to do. But it was a series of puzzles.
That's right. I was in your group.
We were in there with, okay.
Yeah,
So the goal was to log on to, find a password to log into a website. Early in the game, you figure out what the website is, but then you have to do another bunch of puzzles to get the password. We figured out pretty quickly. We had a lot of tech guys, security guys, a white hat hacker on our team. Figured out that we could actually look at the source code of the site. It's a game, right? So they're not going to be super security conscious. No. The password for this game was stored in a MD5 hash.
Very similar fashion.
Totally trivial to decode it, enter it in. The guy came in, he's like, man, no team has ever solved this as fast as you guys. What did you do? Like, well, we cheated. So did I just admit to a crime in Missouri?
Yes. Right, exactly. You did, I guess, according to Mr. Mike Parson here, you did. And that's a huge issue. Because if we think about it, every time, would this be retroactive? How many times have I pressed F12?
Well, we did use the site not the way it was intended. We did intentionally bypass security measures.
Yeah.
So it seems hilarious to us. But
the Computer Intrusion Act or whatever it's called that he's referencing here. Like, it's just terrible.
Yeah. And can I just say how hilarious it is that he reported them to the Highway Patrol?
Yeah.
Is the Highway Patrol now going to be the cybersecurity experts?
No, I'll tell you. So certain states, their Highway Patrol are actually their strongest level of police. So the Highway Patrol actually probably has the strongest cybersecurity division.
For real?
For real. Yes.
What?
Mm-hmm.
So like,
wonder why he didn't
reported to those guys as well.
Ask yourself this: why didn't he contact the FBI? Why didn't he contact the federal big guys? Why is he going state only?
Which is cybercrime would be a federal issue.
Correct. He contacted, especially against the government. This is a federal issue, but he didn't. He contacted the Highway Patrol and he contacted the state general attorney's office, I believe.
Is it because it's the information superhighway? It's like, Highway Patrol. Yes. I've seen some dangerous driving.
Wow. That is...
Yeah, he basically called the packet police. Okay.
The packet police.
awesome.
Right.
The mounted packet police.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. Yeah.
Oh, God.
That was hilarious. Maybe the funniest thing I've heard on this show. Well done,
that was good.
Peter.
That was good. Really nice.
No, but seriously, like, why? So why did he not contact the FBI?
Oh boy. I mean, why did he think this was an issue in the first place? Either he doesn't know or he doesn't care, right? Is it a political stunt, or is he really thinking like, what's happening here? I don't even understand how the world works. Who knows?
Just picked up and called a random agency. I'm genuinely curious because John was saying, ask yourself, why did he contact them and not the FBI? I actually don't know.
So he did so because the Missouri law, a person who commits the offense of tampering with computer data, if he or she knowingly and without authorization access takes and examines personal information, that's the offense in Missouri. So
oh my God,
all of this is like so targeted. It's so precise to take out a guy who was doing some good.
And the other thing I heard about it was that it was a journalist who discovered this.
Oh, was it a journalist? I wasn't sure who. Yeah,
I think it was part of the story. It was a journalist who discovered this, and the journalist reported it, waited until it was fixed, and then wrote an article. And it was because he made it public and wrote this article that they wanted to
of course,
get
so
back
it's a personal
at him, basically.
vendetta.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, well, we can't have this guy writing bad stuff about us. Let's take him out, kind of thing.
You hosted social security numbers in your front end.
What?
This wasn't like this guy wasn't like unauthorized, like finding a 0 day in some file server somewhere. Like this was legitimately on their website.
I can't believe.
What was that, Mike?
I can't believe I'm on this side of it, but like, is there a risk that we think that this is no big deal because we know too much about the way the internet works? Is it reasonable? Would you have a reasonable expectation of privacy as the owner of the website, not as the developer, that this would not be available to people?
You're on thin ice, Mike. Okay,
I know.
Ice,
believe me, I do not like the position I'm in. Believe me.
Well,
I'll give you an example. Here. I'll give you an example. Okay, so in certain apartment complexes, much like mine, the mailboxes are all next to each other.
I like a good metaphor.
Okay.
Okay. I'm with you on this.
My neighbor, who knows where I live, he knows my apartment number, and he knows that and it says so on my mailbox, sees that my mailbox is wide open and there's mail inside. Okay, so he takes my mail and he brings it to my door. Knocks, I answer, he gives me the mail, I say thank you and close the door. This is the equivalent of what this person did. We can't
and
even
also him saying to you, hey, by the way, your mailbox is unlocked.
Exactly. Like, hey, there's a security vulnerability with your mailbox. You should probably go check that out.
Then you go and lock your mailbox, and a week later he writes about it in the local news.
Yes.
And
so I called the highway patrol, the packet patrol. Sorry.
The U.S. Postal Service Office of Investigation.
Right.
Office of Investigations. Yeah.
They actually do have a branch, but not okay. So not to sidetrack.
The Postal Service are a heavy duty, man. No,
they are. They really are. My point is this: the person, when he plugged it into the MD5 or whatever it was, hash decryptor or decoder, he didn't know that it was social security numbers. All he knew was that it was a hash of something. So he took that
for 3. And he contacted the people to verify that they were real, and then he stopped.
And then he stopped. This was clearly not a crime. Or if it was a crime under Missouri law, or Missouri law, I guess at this point, it would... Sorry, it's actually a really overused one, is calling Missouri misery, but Jesus. Under Missouri law, if it was an unintentional one, this should be seen and recognized. Yeah, let's hear it.
I've got to work this in somehow. So work with me here. Like, I'm curious actually about what other states are going to start to act like this. Like, who's next?
Well, I can't
because
imagine
someone in another state is going to look at this and go, "Oh, hang on, this. I mean, maybe I can apply this to this situation that happened." Because Missouri loves company. Do you like it? It's good, huh?
Oh no!
I win. All right.
Well, John, Peter will no longer be with us.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, just you and me next week, huh?
I did think, though, as you were saying that, I thought, is there some possibility this was like a phishing attack against the reporter to like put this information out to try and entice somebody to hack the site so that they could call the state patrol, highway patrol,
honeypot with real data, like
that's right.
real employees' social security numbers.
What's more attractive to bears than real honey?
I guess. I hate it. I hate this whole episode.
Who would do that? Someone in charge, they've got access to everybody's social security. Like, you know what? I want to get that Jeff, man. He's really been pissing me off. God, he wrote that article about
that guy especially. Yeah.
going on about insecure government websites. I'm going to start a government website and make it insecure, and he's going to
find it. Yeah.
Who tipped off the reporter? That's the question here. An accomplice.
Yeah.
Did he do this alone? I don't think so.
You mean to tell me he just went on the website and pressed F12?
Yeah, I know.
Come on, get out.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Peter, it's your turn.
What's my turn?
Wrap us up.
No. It's one of those things.
What did you think,
guys? That it just seems. See, I thought it was super A+. Would meme again. Please keep it coming, guys. I hope nothing serious actually happens about this. It reminds me actually of the whole, and this is going to date me, DECSS debacle or debacle as a debacle, or whatever, from years back, where DVDs had copyright protection on them, and it was this thing called CSS, and it was very, very easily cracked. And you could have it in one line of Perl that would be printed on a T-shirt, and it was technically illegal under international or US law because exporting it is like exporting munitions.
Right.
But it was one line of Perl, you know, so it was people were ridiculing it at the time and coming up with all sorts of ways to share it. That was just, you know, like I say, printing on T-shirts. Reminds me of that. And the sad thing is that I think some people actually got in trouble for it. So fingers crossed nothing actually happens this time.
Yeah, hopefully it all works out.
Yeah, good luck to everyone involved, except for that dickhead who called the information superhighway patrol.
Packet police. Yeah, the packet police. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Like and subscribe, guys.
Like and subscribe. All right.
Oh,
that was awesome.